Hey guys, it's Courtney from Soul Deep Devotions, and I wanted to do a video devotion today because I feel like I haven't done one in a while, and I feel like today kind of has a more physical application because of the season that I'm going through, and also I just wanted to show you guys kind of my thought process today. Today I want to talk about transition because I'm going through a very unique transition in my life in that I'm getting married. I don't have my ring on right now. I was cooking downstairs before I filmed this, so I took it off and it's on the sink counter. But I am getting married in June, and so my life is in this transition of going from, a regular dating relationship to a married relationship, and all of the weird, interesting relational and transitional changes that go along with that. And so today, my life is a little hectic. I helped move my fiance into the apartment that we will live in as a young married couple. I'm living at home right now, and I'll move in with him after the wedding. But he is living there for the time being, and so I gave him my furniture because that's the furniture that we're going to use when we get married. And so rather than move him in with different furniture and then get rid of that and move me in with different furniture in the next 4 to 5 months, I figured I'll just start giving you furniture. So that naturally, since I've given him some big pieces or items in the past week, means that my life is kind of in a limbo until we walk down the aisle. So today I was home and I have the day off from work, and I was like, I have to film a Devo today. I was always planning on filming, but I was like, oh, I should clean my room. And then I just feel like, I was like, well, there has to be a message in the way that it is. So my life is in transition. And I think that it's important for us to all be vulnerable with each other in our walks with Christ. But I feel like as I was thinking today about transitions, I feel like everybody is in some sort of transition. I feel like life is just constant transitions, whether it's from, elementary to middle school, or middle school to high school, or high school to college, or job to job, or unmarried to married, or, in mourning. There's so many different kinds of transitions that we go throughout our lives, and I think that if you really thought hard enough about it, you would be able to figure out a place in your life at any point in your life where you're in transition. And just kind of like the craziness that comes with it, the uncertainty, maybe the fear, and all of that. But I just wanted to, encourage you today and let you know that wherever you are in your transition, the Lord already has worked out where it is that you're going to be when the transition is over. The Lord has already ordained all of that, and it's your honor and your privilege as a Christian to be able to walk through those things, knowing for certain that the Lord is going to safely deliver you to the other side of your transition. But I wanted to back that up with some scripture, so I am reading out of Matthew 24. I'm going to start from verse 32, but ultimately we're talking about verse 35. It says, "From the fig tree learn its lesson. As soon as its branch becomes tender and puts out its leaves, you know that summer is near. So also, when you see all of these things, you know that He, Jesus, is near at the very gates. Truly I say to you, this generation will not pass away until all of these things take place." And then in verse 35 it says, "Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away." So, in this chapter, Jesus is talking about the tribulation, and what comes at the end of, time as we know it, which is going to be a transition like no other. So he's talking about, like, before those verses, he's talking about, the sun going out, and, like, times of really, like, really, what's it called? I'm losing the word for it. Really, like, extreme sin, and, abomination, and all kinds of different things that are related to the tribulation. So in these verses, when he talks about, these things are going to be a sign of the fact that Jesus is coming again soon. But I find it really interesting that in this talk about tribulation, in this reminder that Jesus is ever nearer, that that he gives us this promise that that heaven and earth will pass away. Everything is temporary, but his words will never pass away. So just, I'm very encouraged by that, although it's not in the application of, the revelation or tribulation. I'm encouraged by the fact that literally this whole world, everything that we interact with on a daily basis, everything that we go through, is all temporary. And heaven and earth will pass away. Everything will be dead and gone at the end of the day. And yet Jesus Christ, the Lord, stands firm and eternal and steadfast. So I don't know what transition you're in, but you can also take encouragement in the fact that literally every single character in this Bible transitioned and went through change, and the Lord took care of them mightily. From Joseph, who transitioned from brother to slave, to prisoner, to... Okay, bye! Sorry, my parents are leaving. I'm sorry. So David transitioned from brother to slave to prisoner, to the right hand of Pharaoh. Those were a lot of different transitions that he had to go through to get to the ultimate place where the Lord wanted and needed him to be. Ruth transitioned from wife to widow, to foreigner, to, married woman and mother, and then alongside her, Naomi went from wife to widow to losing her sons, to, going back home, transitioned to, from bitter to blessed. So, I mean, you can transition from good to bad, from bad to worse, from good to better, or, ultimately to, the highest place that you can go. And the Lord still has you in his hand. The Lord still has your tomorrows planned. And if all else fails, everything about this world and your life and the things that you struggle with are all temporary. And it all bows to the fact that we serve an eternal God who will never pass away, and whose promises are the same today as they were yesterday, and the same today as they will be tomorrow. So yeah, that is my encouragement for you. If your life looks physically like mine does, or maybe a little bit emotionally in transition and crazy and messy, take comfort in the fact that Jesus has it all figured out. Jesus is going to get you to the place that you need to be. You don't have to pretend like your life is all together. You don't have to pretend like everything is sunshine and rainbows. But you do have to trust in the Lord. And the Lord will take you and love you even with all of your mess. And yeah, that's my encouragement for you today. Just to not hold on to things that won't matter eventually. I can get stressed about this item of wedding planning or what we're going to do for money. You can get hung up on all of those different things, but at the end of the day, it's all not going to matter when you're standing at the feet of Jesus, after this whole world has passed away and Jesus comes back riding on the clouds and takes us all home to be in heaven. You're not going to be worried about the things that you're struggling with today. So, wherever you are in life, good, bad, or ugly, Jesus has you, and Jesus is taking you to the place that he needs you to be. And as long as you submit to him, as long as you trust him for his word, and put your faith in him, you'll never fall. You won't, you'll never be tossed about on stormy water. You'll always find yourself hidden away. And that's ultimately where we want to be as Christians, because we want to look more like Jesus. We want to be more like Jesus. Therefore, we have to be in the midst of him. So, yeah, that's my encouragement today, that heaven and earth will pass away, but the word of the Lord will never pass away, no matter what transition you're in. So, I hope you have a blessed day and even more blessed week. And I'm praying for you in whatever transition that you're in. And if you would like to see more Soul Deep, you can always visit us at our website, souldeepdevos.com. You can shoot us an email, souldeepdevos@gmail.com, or you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, your favorite social media sites. And other than that, we will see you next week. We put things out every Tuesday. And yeah. Have a good week. Love you guys. Bye.